Number 1. Cop arrests pregnant teacher. On July 30th, 2021, Vilmaris Montalvo, a pregnant dual-language teacher from Arlington, faced a challenging situation when she had to pick up her husband from a hospital in Fort Worth after his surgery. During her journey, she noticed a Fort Worth patrol car following her for quite some time, which understandably made her nervous. After she finally pulled over, the officer approached her vehicle.
Get out of the car, ma'am. You're under arrest. And don't make me pull you out.
What's wrong?
Stand back.
Please let me call my husband.
Get in the car.
He's in the hospital waiting for me.
Feeling the pressure of her tight deadline and the stress of being pregnant, Montalvo couldn't hold back her emotions and began to cry. Concerned about her pregnancy, she stepped out of her car and explained her situation to the officer. Instead of showing empathy, the officer responded less than understanding, making a dismissive remark about following the rules despite her condition. The officer showed little regard for Ms. Montalvo and started screaming at her.
Please, my husband is in the hospital having surgery. He's waiting for me.
Ma'am, I understand. Why do you think it's okay for you to do what you did? Why do you think...
I don't understand what I did.
I've been behind you for 5
I
miles.
didn't realize you were following me.
You are
God.
not believable.
I went to look at the hospital to see my husband.
Do you have a... Ma'am, I feel silly explaining to you what's going on. You're an adult, and you have a driver's license. So you know that when a police car gets behind you, turns on the lights and turns on the siren, and I stay behind, stop. You asked me to explain, I'm doing that. When that happens, you are required to yield.
The officer refused to believe Ms. Montalvo's reasoning for why she did not stop and explained to her why she was, according to him, in the wrong.
Consequences for our actions. When we do something good, we're rewarded. When we do something bad, there's a penalty. Your penalty today is, I'm going to put you in jail. And that's so that you don't think you can get away with this tomorrow. You're under arrest and you're going to jail. What?
I realized right now that...
Sadly, Montalvo's hopes of reaching the hospital for her husband's sake faded away as the officer told her that she can call her husband, but she was still being arrested and taken to jail, all because she didn't slow down enough while passing an emergency vehicle. Ms. Montalvo began sobbing. She apologized to the police officer for not stopping and told him. The aftermath of this incident has been distressing for Montalvo. She has suffered from anxiety attacks and had trouble sleeping and driving. Seeking justice, Montalvo filed a complaint with the department, asking for restitution for what she perceived as a wrongful arrest. However, the response she received was disheartening, to say the least. A letter stating that the officer did nothing wrong. Undeterred, she filed another complaint, this time with the police oversight monitor. Little did she know that Officer Reynolds, the officer involved in the case, had a history of complaints. Montalvo's dual complaints sparked an internal affairs investigation, overseen by the Oversight Office. This investigation eventually led to a 7-day suspension for Reynolds, shedding light on the evolving relationship between the city's Oversight Office and the police department since the inception of the accountability program 2 years prior. One notable accomplishment of the Oversight Office is mandating the tracking of internal affairs investigations and ensuring the department informs citizens about the outcome of their complaints. This transparency is seen as a way to benefit both officers and the community they serve. Despite these efforts, Montalvo feels that oversight hasn't done enough. She continues to struggle with the emotional aftermath of the incident and is now seeking therapy for PTSD, while also balancing the responsibilities of her new motherhood. In her own words, Montalvo expresses her disappointment with the Oversight Office's lack of power, especially when it comes to disciplinary actions. She believes they can do much more to address such issues and make a real difference in ensuring accountability and fairness within law enforcement. If this story wasn't bad enough, wait till you hear our next one, where cops place a former military man in cuffs on suspicion of growing weed on his own property. Number 2. Police arrest African-American military veteran for allegedly growing marijuana. In West Virginia, 2 deputies faced a lawsuit for alleged violations of the civil rights of a black U.S. military veteran. The incident unfolded when the deputies arrested the man for simply refusing to provide his name. According to the complaint, the incident occurred on August 7, 2020, when 3 African-American residents of McDowell County underwent what they described as unlawful and outrageous racial profiling, harassment, and retaliation solely based on their skin color. The deputies accused Donnie and Ventress Hairston of cultivating marijuana plants on a nearby property owned by someone else. Representing the plaintiff, civil rights lawyer John H. Bryant disclosed the details of the incident. He explained that the officers harassed and intimidated the Hairston couple while they were sitting on their front porch. Later, their landlord, Jason Tart, joined them and questioned the officers' authority, which led to retaliation and a false arrest. The officers allegedly prevented the Hairstons from witnessing and recording their misconduct, even going as far as physically forcing them inside their homes. The attorney released body cam footage and commentary, shedding light on the events leading up to the arrest. In the footage, Ventress Hairston can be heard asking the officers for their names to feel more secure.
Season that we're living in, I think it's important that I have your names.
What do you mean, ma'am?
A lot of crazy stuff going on, and so having your name makes me feel more secure. As I said, we came here June 28th. You know, we're actually new here.
Okay.
And
She expressed her disbelief that they were being asked about growing marijuana on their property, despite the couple's denial. The officers reportedly continued to intimidate and upset them.
Are you growing marijuana? That is preposterous to me.
Is just a question, ma'am.
Yeah, well, I get that. And so then my only question to you is your names, just so it's okay in my own heart and mind. And when I say the season we're living in, you know the season we're living in.
Y'all concerned?
The deputies informed Tart that he was required by law to provide them with his name and date of birth.
So I'd just like to have your name.
You know how many people go through here?
I understand.
That's
Well-
not gonna do you one bit of good.
Well, sir, I'm going to need your name and date of birth, and I have that.
feel comfortable giving you my name and date of birth.
Okay, well, this is a criminal investigation. You own these two homes, so by law, you do have to give me your name and date of birth, sir.
If he gives you a reason, yes, you do.
Reason for what?
Because of
The Hairstons attempted to witness and record the incident, but the officers prevented them from doing so and forced them back into their homes. The arrest occurred when Deputy Martin physically seized Jason Tart, taking him to the driveway and placing him in handcuffs. The obstruction of justice charge against Tart was eventually dismissed by a McDowell County magistrate court. The lawsuit, filed by lawyers representing Jason B. Tart and the husband and wife Donnie and Ventress Hairston, claimed that the officers racially profiled the veteran and suspected him or his family of growing cannabis on their property. The legal action was initiated on August 9, 2022, targeting deputies Dalton T. Martin and Jordan A. Horn, who were employed by the McDowell County Sheriff's Office. Additionally, the lawsuit involved James Boomer Muncie and the McDowell County Commission. The plaintiffs argued that their First, Fourth, and 14th Amendment rights were violated, and they sought a trial by jury. The lawsuit contended that the officers lacked probable cause to make the warrantless arrest, and they allegedly engaged in malicious prosecution as a form of retaliation against protected free speech. Furthermore, the lawsuit claimed that the deputies violated the couple's civil liberties by unreasonably detaining and interrogating them without a warrant or valid consent. Jason Tart and the Hairstons sought compensatory and punitive damages in the lawsuit. They also requested that the defendants cover their attorney fees and costs if they prevailed in the case. As of now, the case is still pending in court. If you want to watch more videos of cops going overboard and acting like tyrants, then please subscribe to the channel.